Alright, let me just regather my brood. Let me aberrations. And let me zerglings. Let me just regather my guys here. I just lost all my army actually. Okay, that's okay though. That's okay though, because look, here's my ultralisks. Right, alright, let's come back here. We're almost there. Pretty close. And you know, my allies continue to put pressure on them, right? Maybe I should...
Yes.
Oh, it's queens. Maybe queens...
Retribution.
Should probably take that base. If nothing else, for the gas. Maybe I should bring these? Maybe I should bring these? Alright, let me deep tunnel them here. And then like walk them this way. What am I doing with you guys? Hydralisks.
Speak.
Alright, so I'm there. These guys are there.
Yes.
How big's my army right now? I guess this then should also be added to one. Hydralisks.
Minsk will suffer.
Alright, let me stand up here. Swarm host.
It is time.
Hydralisks. Let's see, 2 of those. Aberrations. Oh, hey, look.
The swarm.
Well, lost one of these guys, but that's okay. Don't mind too much at this point. So the enemy is there. Let me come over here and borrow. And then let me Baneling something and then push in. They're pretty much dead, right? And they're dead. Completely wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. These guys aren't doing anything.
The dominion of man is stronger than you. We will see your ashes spread to the wind.
What are you even talking
Men,
about?
stop the Queen of Blades for humanity.
How are you stopping anything?
Zagaro, take command. I have an appointment with the Emperor.
Long live the Queen.
So I mean, it's a lot of fun because you have units swarming in from all directions, and we did lose our entire army at one point, so it's not a pushover. But having said all of that, it's also not difficult at all. Like the enemies, the enemy doesn't attack you, or it kind of does, but hardly ever. Well, I guess it came out with a bunch of Vikings every now and then. Yeah, no, it's just weak. This is just weak. This is the easy mode. I probably should be playing on hard difficulty. I think, well, comparing this mission with the final mission of the Terran campaign, I can say that the final mission of the Terran campaign is much, much more difficult than this. Even on normal difficulty, that one was much more difficult than this. This is just easy. Anyway, well, let's continue. Although you notice that, you know, the final mission of the Terran campaign, like it was the Zerg with overwhelming numbers, and we had to defend our base until the artifact charged up, right? So, like the final mission of the Terran campaign, it was a defensive mission. Like you had to you had to siege up your siege tanks, and you have to bunker up, and you have to kind of hold your little island when you're surrounded by Zerg. Whereas in the final mission of the Zerg campaign, it's the other way around. You are the one with the overwhelming forces. The enemies are the ones trying to hold you back, and you kind of push in with your Zerg swarm. So the final mission really kind of explains the whole idea of each of these races. The Zerg being a swarming thing with a lot of critters running around, and the Terran being a defensive thing with your siege tanks and bunkers and whatnot. So, I mean, thematically, that's the kind of the main idea behind the races. I'll be interested to see how the Protoss one turns out, to be honest. But there you go. It's not. I mean, I do enjoy the Zerg swarm, but it seemed too easy to me. Maybe, as I keep saying, maybe I should have played on hard difficulty. I don't know. All right, let's continue. Cinematics.
Hello, Kerrigan. I've been waiting for you.
I'm surprised you haven't tried to escape.
Escape? My dear, I'm afraid you've got it all wrong.
Oh, hey, look. It's the artifact.
Really? Did you think I'd keep an animal like you close to me without some kind of insurance policy? Clearly, you are my greatest failure. Now, at long last, you will die.
Change of plans.
You can never suffer enough for all the lives you've ruined, Arcturus.
I made you into a monster, Kerrigan.
You made us all into monsters. Thank you, Jim. For everything.
My pleasure, darling.
now see my true enemy. He waits for me in the void, wielding powers I cannot imagine. I go to face him, having renounced everything. My humanity, my identity, the man I love. But I will not face this enemy alone. I am the swarm.
Yes! Embrace your Zerg! So yeah, we're gonna ditch Jim once again, go back to our Zergling boyfriend, and we're gonna kill Amon. So that's the end of the Zerg campaign. Is there anything we need to summarize? I think I like the Terran campaign better. There seemed to be a little more character, there seemed to be a little more... I mean, the Zerg, all the Zerg are kind of dumb. Like, the Zerg are kind of single-minded in their desire to just eat things. Like Zagara, Isha, Dahaka, they're all kind of dumb. It's like, collect essence. What do you mean? We collect essence. We destroy Terrans. And we destroy Protoss, and we collect essence. And that's all there is to life. And it's just, I mean, fair enough, they're Zerg. So, I guess you have to understand that that's their worldview, that's their philosophy in life, which is to eat Terrans. But it's kind of dumb. It's like you don't have anything else you want to do, you don't have any other objectives, you don't have any other motivations, you just eat Terrans. I mean, now that I say it's kind of funny, but then they never really... I don't think they made as much of it as they could have, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. I mean, yeah, okay, so the Zerg, they're all single-minded, they collect essence, and then they kind of make themselves stronger and they eat things. But having said that, like, I think it could have been funnier, maybe, if they just kind of made a bigger point of it. It could have been funnier, it could have been maybe even interesting if it leads to like unexpected outcomes. I don't think they took advantage of the Zerg to tell an interesting story as much as they did Terran. I mean, obviously Terrans are humans, and so us being humans, it's kind of easy to tell a human story. Even though the Terran campaign is just full of boys kind of punching each other and being angry and drinking and smoking all the time, which is like, okay. No, maybe the Terran campaign was also kind of dumb. It was just kind of drinking and smoking all the time, wasn't it? Drinking and smoking and punching each other. Maybe that's kind of dumb too, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, it's not as funny as you might imagine. And I don't mean slapstick humor or just silly puns or anything like that, but actual like humor, but still maintaining the space opera aspect, maintaining the epic battle aspect, but just things going nuts, like just kind of pushing things over the edge sometimes, Like when the Zerg is swarming, it just kind of swarms out of control. Like the Zerg, like you never saw the Zerg swarm out of control. Like you never saw like Zerglings become a little too eager and doing ridiculous things, and it's just things like that. I think there's room to just kind of go crazy with some of these things. Not to fall into kind of slapstick humor the way Warcraft sometimes is. But it's a little tame. And when you talk about the Zerg, you don't want to be tame, you want to be wild. So it just seems like it's not as wild a ride as you might imagine, given that we're playing the Zerg campaign. I don't know, maybe it's just a... I guess Blizzard has a different idea about what they want the story to be. You know, like insane overkills and... Yeah, it wasn't that aspect to it. The Terran campaign, like it introduced a lot of mechanics. I guess being the first campaign, you have to teach a lot of things. I also feel like the Zerg campaign didn't teach as much. I think I pointed it out during each mission, but like the Ultralisk mission, or the one like the mission after we got the Ultralisk, didn't really take advantage of the Ultralisk as much as you might imagine. The Swarm Host one didn't really take advantage of the Swarm Host as you might imagine. So it's like, whereas in the Terran campaign, every time you got a new unit, the next mission, like the mission where you got the new unit, you are most likely to do well if you just spam that unit. So like they managed to like really devise a situation that showed off under what conditions that particular unit is good. Although sometimes like the medevac one, like it just kind of terrifies you because you lose a few medevacs and all your units are gone. So that's terrifying. But like the siege tank mission, you were under siege. That makes sense, right? And like the fire bat mission, or the Hellion mission, you were attacked by infested Terrans, and so they're slow, and there's a lot of them, and so the flamethrower makes sense. So a lot of those missions, they make sense in terms of what the game wants to teach you. Whereas in the Zerg campaign, you got new units and you kind of used them, but you didn't really have to use them. Maybe that's just the nature of Zerg. Maybe it's just the nature of Zerg. Like I spent a lot of time just, you saw me kind of spam Zerglings and aberrations and Hydralisks. I hardly ever built any roaches even. Built a bunch of queens, maybe a few Ultralisks, maybe a few swarm hosts, and then just kind of put everything in a big ball and walk into the enemy. And that was most of the game. And I guess it's partly because the Zerg are designed like that, partly because we're playing on normal difficulty. But maybe they made it easier too, because there wasn't the multitasking in Wings. Like in Wings of Liberty, a lot of the missions required you to multitask a lot, and to multitask quite well. Whereas the Zerg campaign, it didn't feel like it had to. Anyway, I guess I should stop talking there. So, as at the time of this recording, the Legacy of the Void, the Protoss campaign, is not out yet. So obviously I can't play it until it's out. Although there are 3 preliminary, like prologue missions that I'm gonna play afterwards. I'm gonna record them right after this. I don't know when I'll upload this. As I said in the beginning, I kind of want to upload these to coincide with the release of Legacy of the Void, but I don't have like a fixed date for that. Blizzard is still working on it, and so I don't know when I'm gonna upload these. But I want to upload it so that everything is from start to finish. It's just in one set of videos, and so I'm gonna wait for the Legacy of the Void to come out before I upload these. And obviously I'll play through that as well, probably on normal difficulty, and record those. And that would be a blind playthrough, unlike the Terran and Zerg campaign, which is not a blind playthrough, if you haven't noticed yet. Alright, I'll stop talking, and we'll go do the Whispers of Oblivion, which is the Protoss prologue. I'll see you in the next video.